So before we go any farther, I'd like to give a big shout out to Murphy's Guns here in Tucson. They've worked with the channel a lot over the last year, and there's a lot of things that you've seen over the last year that wouldn't have been as easily possible without them. So check out Murphy's Guns if you are in Tucson. If you're online, go check them out on Instagram. Give them a follow for me. Let them know I sent you over there. Great guys, great service, great selection, and a lot of knowledge in that place as far as the guns that they sell and questions that you might have about firearms. I use them for all my FFL transfers and for my NFA stuff. So check out Murphy's Guns in Tucson, Arizona. Awesome people. Again, check them out on social media. Let's get back into the video. So I have shot and reviewed a ton of Glock clones, Glock knockoffs, however you want to say it, from mid-priced all the way through the budget tiers. And that budget tier category, that say 250, 300 to 500 category, is pretty packed with a lot of stuff. Well, I think it was late last year or early this year, Bear Creek Arsenal came out with the BC-101, which was their Glock 17 full-size Glock clone. Recently, they released the BC-102, the G19 Glock knockoff Glock clone, and I've got one right here.
Brother, what's that?
Let's get into this. First shots and see how this thing runs. See if the internet is right about every time you touch a Bear Creek Arsenal product, it's just gonna fail, right? Let's get into it. So for full transparency, Bear Creek Arsenal did send this out to me. I do have a relationship with Bear Creek Arsenal. I have bought stuff from them for years. The relationship with them started here recently in the last year. They've sent me a couple things. I've still bought a couple things with my own money at the same time, but they did send this to me per my request. So it's not like they reached out and said, hey, will you do a video on this? I reached out and said, hey, I want to check this thing out. And they sent it to me. So I'm pretty happy about that. And right off the bat, there's a few things that I really like about this pistol, and we're going to get into those in a minute. But first, check out Camerado. Camerado is a clothing company run by a gun tuber, Sean Heron from We Like Shooting. If you know him, he's an awesome dude, and the clothing is phenomenal, kick-ass. I love wearing these for concealment. They have long sleeve, they have hoodies, they have all kinds of stuff. You don't have to get a short sleeve, with a ton of different, very functional and a ton of different, very fun camo patterns. I have the Warden, which is this right here. I also have the Sea Smoke, which is the TGC, the Gun Collective inspired camo pattern. And I have the Merc, which is the black and red one you've seen. If you follow my Instagram at all, you've seen me in this clothing before. But check out Camerado. So before we get the first shots through this, I want to just go over a couple quick things. We're going to go over some more during the shooting. We'll probably get through a couple hundred rounds today on it, assuming it makes it. Of course, Bear Creek Arsenal, known for exploding, right? If you can't tell, I'm very sarcastic about all that stuff. Every time I do anything, whether I purchased it or not through Bear Creek, it's run great. I know people have had their fair share of issues, but in my use cases, they've all been very positive experiences. So again, G19 size pistol, and it's very G19 feeling, with the exception of some of the grip stuff they've done. The slide has very nice serrations in it, front and rear. It is optics cut for an RMR and has very good thumb ledges here on each side. That is something that I think is, at this point, a requirement for any Glock clone, any Glock knockoff frame or pistol. If you fail to put usable thumb ledges on it, it's an absolute failure as a pistol. Now, it does have these cool window cuts in it. It's something that you see in a lot of the Glock clones these days. Cool window cuts in it. You can get it with different barrels. I chose to get the one with the stainless G19 barrel. Now, my history with the G19 barrels from Bear Creek Arsenal. I love them. I can 1000% recommend them. I I have thousands of rounds on Glock 19 barrels from Bear Creek Arsenal. My carry gun, one of my carry guns, but the black Glock 19 with the Holosun on it that you've seen many times, that has thousands of rounds on it, stainless steel Bear Creek Arsenal barrel, runs great, flawless performance, and more accurate than my Glock barrel that came out of it was. I also have a threaded one that, if you remember way back when I did a review on the agency comp for Glock, that was a Bear Creek threaded barrel. So I have a ton of experience with Bear Creek stainless Glock barrels, and they've always been very, very good.
Can you shut the f up?
So let's heat this thing up. We'll go over some more of the specs of it and things that it has with it as we go along. This is CCI Independence from Borelli. I buy this in bulk all the time. I'll go ahead and leave a link to that down below as well. And it comes with two 15-round KCI mags. So let's... Oh, that shoots pretty nice. Mag 1 down. So the mag release is a Gen 4 mag release, but when I look at the internals, it looks like mainly Gen 3 internals, but it is a Gen 4 style mag release. It is a single-sided slide stop, much like a Gen 3, and has the 3-pin design for takedown with an additional pin right here in the front, and that holds the front rails in. So the front rails are not molded into the frame on this. It is a separate entity within the frame. So second magazine, one of the things this thing also has is a really, really nice mag well built into it. So the grip is flared a little bit, and there is a really, really nice mag well built into this frame. So 15 more rounds. $15 down, or 30 down, many to go.
I'm not done yet.
So I am here with a ETS Glock 17 Omni mag, and this is about the time the internet says this will surely fail because ETS is junk and Bear Creek Arsenal is junk. So let's try this. We're going to do some accuracy here on the cardboard target. So I'm just going to go for headshots right away. Little low left. There we go, centered up. Woo! 17 more. So that was my first shot when I said it was a little low left. And there's one flyer. There's the rest of the 17 with iron sights. So this does come with sort of large dot sights. They're a green sight, the kind of same green that Bear Creek Arsenal uses in their, in their logo and stuff. But they're non-glowing, but they are really easy to use. I don't mind the green. I've never had like this color of green as sight. I use a lot of blackout sights, so the fact that there's any color there at all is fine with me. But they seem to be pretty darn good. Let's do some more in the cardboard target. Woo, all yeah, in one C zone. Rest were A.
What a piece of junk.
So we're back here at 25 yards. Speaking of sights, $17 more down. I have 30 in my pocket. All right, let's go back to 50. All right, here at 50 yards. Let's see here. Nice. Not a hiccup yet.
Inconceivable.
All right, so let's talk about this grip a little bit and some of the grip texture. So they rounded the grip a little bit. I already told you about the magwell, right? The magwell is super, super nice. So they rounded the grip up a little bit. It's very Glock shaped as far as forward to back and side to side shape. But they did round the edges a little bit. They put a little curve in here. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling grip to my hand, ergonomically. Of course, that's going to be hand size dependent. I've got big hands. And then they put some texture up here in the very ample thumb ledge. Now the texture is a hair texture, so it's called the Grizzly, right? The Grizzly 102 and 101. And it's got this very cool like hair type texture. Now, I was worried that it was just aesthetics. I was worried that, since I've never seen that type of texture before, I was worried that it was aesthetics. But I'll tell you, it does. I don't know if it's just the way that it wraps and the way it waves, but I'm able to manage the recoil really well with it. Now, I'm going to have the same complaint about this that I do a lot of other guns, and that is I do wish they would continue the texture up in here, because your hand does ride in there and any extra grip is better. So this does have a 1913 pick rail on the front of it as an accessory rail, which means this won't fit standard Glock holsters. If you have really crappy made loose holsters like We the People and stuff like that, it might fit some of those holsters. But if you have very well fitted precision fit holsters like Works and some others, this isn't going to fit a Glock holster, especially if you have a light on it. And that's because anytime you see these 1913 rails, they have to make this taller than the standard Glock accessory rail. So that's unfortunate, but it's going to fit any Polymer 80 holster or anything like that that's made in such a way, because I have other guns like this. I don't have a Polymer 80 holster out here, but I have other guns that are not Glock holster compatible, and they all fit Polymer 80 holsters, which are, you know, fairly abundant. Trigger. The trigger is a little lighter than a Glock trigger. On the brake, it's a little lighter. And the reset is harder. So I don't know if they put a 6-pound spring in here or what, but if you like that reset's a little shorter and a little bit more forced, a little lighter brake. So I would say that's probably a 3.5 to 4 pound brake with a nice forced reset. So that's nice. All right, let's shoot some more. That was a Magpul mag. So if anything I'm surprised ran well, it's this. I am using the 19X 19 round mag now. Good to go. Good to go. All right, so here's going to be another internet breaker. I'm using Bear Creek Arsenal. I'm using a KCI magazine, and I'm using Magtech steel ammo. According to the internet, right? According to the know-it-alls on the internet, this is a for sure recipe for disaster. I mean, absolute disaster. So let's see if that's true. But this stuff has a different recoil impulse, that's for sure, than that CCI. And ran a mag of steel case. So this review is going to get really expensive real quick. because I'm going to run a mag of Hornady Critical Duty 135 grain plus P right now. So this is the ammo that I carry most often. And matter of fact, it's the spare, because I didn't have any out here with me, it's the spare mag for my normal carry setup. So if you want to carry this, will it run? Woo, that plus P. Let me tell you something, this thing is freaking hot right now. Anytime you saw the camera shut off, it was just because I was moving positions and I already had all these mags loaded up. So there wasn't much of a break in each of those strings of fire. Now, one of the last things to point out, and this may or may not be a big deal to you, is that, I mean, it's hot. It is hot. But the takedown lever, I don't know if they put an extended takedown lever in it or if they just cut the frame a little deeper, but this does protrude out more than your standard G19. And I mean, I'm telling you guys, I'm touching the metal parts. It freaking burns. This thing is hot. One last thing, and this is going to be a criticism, is that the mag release, or I'm sorry, the slide release is super tough. I'm going to put the Tango down, Vickers Tango down slide release in it. This works. It's kind of hard. I don't know if it's a machining thing in the slide, or if it's a machining thing with the slide stop slide release, but it is kind of tough to use. Maybe some break-in, I don't know. I'm not going to change that right away. I'm going to wait to see how it works out in the future. But very few criticisms about this. I'd like to see the texture higher. That's a criticism I have about a lot of things. I'd like to see it fit a Glock holster. That's a criticism I have about a lot of the Glock knockoffs and Glock clones. And that slide stop slide release is a bit tough. Outside of that, man, this thing is a shooter. This thing is just running and running. Like I said, it is hot as hell right now. And I don't know how many I just put through there. Had to have been close to a couple hundred rounds. And back to 50 yards. Got good accuracy out of it on the cardboard target. What else can you ask for the money? And this is where the comment section lights up with all of you sunshiny people that say, well, of course it runs well. They sent you the gun. They specifically QC'd it for you and specifically you so that you would have a good video on it and all that. Shut the fuck up. So to the YouTube censors, I am not selling this. This is not for sale. I do not sell regulated goods. My channel does not sell anything, in fact. So this is just information I'm forwarding to the viewer for their knowledge so that they can make the best decision possible and decide if they want to buy something like this. I am not selling this. For a nice slide, a great barrel, and I cannot stress how much I believe in these Bear Creek Arsenal stainless barrels. For a nice slide, a good barrel, optics cut, light ready, good trigger, Gen 4 mag release, good grip texture, and a really nice mag well, along with coming with two mags. What would something like that normally cost you? $450, $500. This comes in at $295 on Bear Creek's website. That is unbelievable. I'm going to leave a way you can find that down in the pinned comment and maybe description so you can check it out for yourself. But at $295, the way this thing has run, I can't hardly believe it.
You're unbelievable.
Check it out down below in the description. I appreciate everybody out there watching. I appreciate Bear Creek for sending that out to me. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. It all helps with the channel. Another thing is that I am giving as much crap as I've talked about Rumble in the past. I have been talked into giving it a shot, giving it another shot. I uploaded one video a couple days ago. The previous video to that was 10 months ago. So I gave up on them for a long time. But some friends in the industry reached out to me, and I am giving it another shot. So I will have a link to my Rumble channel down below as well. Check that out if you're over there. I appreciate everybody out there. Thank you for all your support, and we'll talk to you later.